I am pulling up Instagram and letting everybody know that I'm here. Oh, shoot. I have been feeling super duper called to have more conversations online, which is a little strange. I'm waiting for Instagram to pull up. And I'm using YouTube as my backup. So I'm just waiting. Hello, Mariposa Strategies. How are you doing this evening? I am jumping on live to have a conversation about what all of this 888 is about. Mostly because I had a client earlier. Hey, Whitney. I had a client earlier that was a sound bath client, and she just happened to book her sound bath today, right? So she didn't necessarily deep dive. Yes, definitely. I will be giving you some answers today. Going into the deep dive of what this 888 means, right? So if all of us are collectively becoming aware of these numbers that are all kind of in a row together, what does that mean, right? And then also just what does it mean for us personally? What does it mean for us to all feel a similar energy and want to open up our energy or open up our spirits or call in a greater, higher sense of ourselves? That's doing the work, right? As well. So if we're all collectively saying, okay, regardless if we even understand what 888 is, regardless if we have any clue of what that has meant in history, for me, I don't even know if the Gregorian calendar is accurate. Right? But what I believe in and what I know about is collective consciousness, right? So if every single year on 8/8 we all decide that we are all going to open up a portal of manifestation, when we have that communication with the universe, it's happening, right? It's happening. So anytime that you're seeing repeated numbers, one of the biggest things for you to do is just take a pause and be grateful, right? If you're being communicated with something in an invisible realm that has found a way to communicate with you in the here and now, right? May not believe in the calendar, but they do believe in energy. Exactly. Exactly. So if you're seeing those numbers all together, again, being grateful and saying thank you for communicating, because their spirit has found a way to let you know, right, that you're on the right path, or that your feelings are correct, or maybe this is just a time for you to pause and to pray. Maybe this is just a time for you to hold space for yourself and what it is that you're working on. And so that's how I'm even looking at this 888 portal from the very beginning. From when I woke up this morning, one of the things that I was taught in my priesthood was, before you even speak, before you start your day, before you start to grind for your coffee, or before you start to think about what your schedule is for the day, you first take time to show gratitude without even speaking, right? So just internally saying, thank you, I recognize that I'm present. And then you immediately, before you start saying anything to anyone, perhaps you light your candle, maybe you have an incense, and you put the energy of what this day is going to mean for you. So for me, when I woke up this morning, I lit my 7-day candle. I had already had my intentions written down because I started in this portal, a while ago. And so I already kind of had some momentum going, but I made sure I did not speak. I did not have any kind of actions in my day until I had that time with spirit, until I really began to integrate what it is that I want for my life, right? So if you are getting 555s, especially if you have 3 555s, that is amazing. So the reason I'm saying that that is amazing is because those of us who are in traditional religions such as Ifa, such as Mami Wata, such as Vudun, all of us who are practicing 555 is one of the most auspicious, abundant numbers, right? 555 and 333. Okay, so anything that comes in a form of three is a blessing, right? And then this number five, what I love about the five is I always think of it as a star, right? A five-pointed star, a five-pointed illumination that then is able to cascade its light out to everything else and bring light to a bigger area. So this is, again, your 555 is definitely 100% about your abundance. It's 100% letting you know that you're aligned, you're in on that right track. They're definitely affirming for you that you're making it happen. Right. If you have another question, I will pull a card for you, but it also just sounds like you have that like completely all wrapped up. But if you have questions, please, please, please let me know. And I will help you with it. So these cards here, for those who will perhaps be watching this later, ooh, there is a betrayal card that just came into fruition, jumped out. Okay, let's deal with this one. Let's deal with this Eight of Swords, right? We're in 888 and we're dealing with this Eight of Swords. So, Eight of Swords is about your mindset, 100% about your mindset. It is about feeling as if or thinking defeating thoughts, which is opposite of what we are practicing, which is exactly the reason that meditations and sound baths and sacred space is so important. Because as you begin to understand your mind, as you begin to understand what you're projecting out into the universe, that is exactly, you start to understand that's exactly what you're getting, right? So, for example, I had to make several moves this year. My mindset never said, I'm not going to be able to find a home to live in, or I'm not going to be able to afford the type of home that I want to live in. There was no resistance around me finding beautiful, spacious places that held comfort and safety for me and my family. I did not ever, not once, think that I wouldn't be able to acquire exactly what it is that I wanted to do. Right. So in this 888 portal, when we are off this, these phones and it's your time to just sit and to be with yourself and to go into this evening with some power, begin to kind of write down what it is that has perhaps been plaguing your mind. What parts of yourself are in doubt? What parts of yourself are in fear? Get that shit out first, right? So if, let me think about this. Dating, it's always the easiest, right? If there's a part of you that you're going on dates or you haven't even started dating yet, and you are really, really wanting to manifest someone in your life that fulfills you, what are you scared of? Right? What is it that you want to show up that you are not actually willing to give? Where's some place in your past that you've been told that you are not lovable in that way, right? And back to the 555, right? Back to the 555. If you are manifesting just clear, constant joy, right? That's what I think of when I think of 555. That clear and constant joy. What in your mind brings you down to a place that says you are perhaps not worthy? Write that shit down first before you start manifesting, before you go to sleep at night, before you are taking things from one day to the next. Really write down and be able to explore what your fears are, because it's your fears that are blocking you from doing the thing, right? Being scared is one thing. I'm just scared. Hey, evolutionary spirits. Hey, Tabasco 4. Don't know how to say that. but if you are in a space where your mind is not clear, you are not going to be able to bring into the light, into your life, the things that you are so desiring. Your mind is going to start playing tricks. So again, back to me manifesting these beautiful spaces in different parts of the world that I've been living in. I remember at one point I was really, really afraid because I had manifested my perfect place in the Dominican Republic. I could sit in my bedroom, which was massive, look out, sit in my bed. There's a full balcony that was like a completely another bedroom, and I could see the mountains. I'm a mountain girl, right? So I could see the mountains. And then when I would walk out of this loft that I lived in, I could walk 2 blocks and I was at the ocean. I love this place. And the landlord was shitty. Okay. Shitty McShitty, right? I had signed a 6-month lease with a person who was not respectful of women, who was super disrespectful of brown women, and did not take care of his property beyond what he was living in, right? I was in a separate property from his. The property he lived in would be fine. My property, he didn't give a damn, right? I was so afraid that I would not be able to manifest something just as beautiful that I was here. I was in this space of lack. I was in this space of worry. And I remember standing at my sink and washing dishes and saying, "Oh, you're in conflict." Spirit said, "You're in conflict. If you're in conflict about what it is that is available to you, you will continue in this cycle and fear that you will not be able to get or manifest a beautiful place again. This is just one place, right? This is just one apartment in the whole entire island. Do you not think that there is another one that fits you just perfectly? Within 4 days, I found another place, right? Of course, you still got to go out there. You got to look, you got to do the work, you got to talk to people, all those kind of things to get it done. But I did not let the fear continue to depress me in the place that I thought was the most beautiful place for me, right? So the same thing with this 888, right? The same thing applies for what you are manifesting. First, you have to face your fear. First, you have to face the things that you are thinking that are holding you back, right? Versus what it is that you are actually in alignment with. If you are thinking to yourself, okay, I need a bigger house. I need a better car. Like, I can't keep getting around in this car that I'm at. But you are constantly thinking in lack. And so instead of thinking, now, how do I best pay this car payment? How do I best get the best insurance for me? How do I bring these things into my life to make it a much better driving experience, right? The best thing for you to do is then to begin to say, I'm not going to be afraid of what my credit score is, right? I'm not going to be afraid that the most beautiful car is not available for me. I'm going to do the work of seeing what's going on in my credit. I'm going to do the work to make sure that when I go to whatever car dealership, I know exactly what my interest rate is, right? I'm going to know exactly how much I can afford for gas. Those are the systematic things that you have to do in order to move yourself out of fear, right? You face the things that may stand in your way, and then you expand. You just allow yourself to just expand. What is it that I need to do? Let me move this fear out of the way and let me just walk towards it, right? So a lot of us are in this place of fear, and this 888 is asking us to please move that fear, move it out the way. Move it out the way, okay? So that you can get massive clarity about what it is and who you are, right? So that then once you've moved that block out of the way, right? So this is the reason that I do sound healing, is so that we can get right into that block. So we can get right into that place in your heart that's saying, that Mercedes is a little bit too much. I don't come from a family of people with Mercedes. I'm just gonna go look at a Corolla. Right? And then you get a Corolla and you're riding around going, why the hell did I get a Mercedes again? And now you got to go back to manifesting, because your inner fear said that you were unworthy. Your inner fear said that it's going to cost too much to repair that car. The inner fear said that you're not luxurious enough to be in that car. You don't know people who drive those cars to be kind and sweet and generous the way that you are, right? And so your fears are telling you that you're not worthy of a Mercedes. And so you go and get a Corolla and you let your fears consume everything that you've got going on. And you just look at everybody else with the Mercedes and think, well, what do they have that I don't have? They weren't afraid of it, baby. They were not afraid of it. Big strategy thinking, which ironically, yes, you're known for crying out loud. Yes. Clarity is your trademark. Yes. Strategists need strategists like docs need docs. Yes. I'm so glad that you popped in here too. Absolutely. Yeah. Create a strategy so that you can move that fear right out of the way. Right. That's the most important thing. I told myself I wasn't going to be over here on here for very long. And I'm not. I just I'm so glad that Spirit brought in this card that could have been interpreted a bazillion different ways, but it dropped it out for us so that we can understand that this 888, this whole infinity of alignment, we just need to move out of our own thoughts, right? Really truly embody what it means to manifest the things that you want to manifest. I am tired of using that word. I wanted to use a word like create. I think that will probably be a better word for me to use than manifest. Whatever it is that you want to create, you are the co-creator with Spirit. You are the co-creator with the divine. You are the co-creator with God. You're the co-creator with Jesus, with Buddha. Whoever it is or whatever it is that you feel in your heart gets you in that space, you are co-creating with that energy. So if you just take a moment, right? Again, later on tonight, before you go to bed, when you have your journal, and begin to sit in that soft space, right? Begin to just pull yourself down out of your mind space and into your heart. Allow any fears around what it is that you are creating to just come up. Allow them to come out. Allow them to do what they do. Put them all out there, right? And as you let them all begin to go and allow those cords to just be cut of the fears, allow yourself to embody the truth. The truth is what you are manifesting. The truth is what you are creating, right? The truth is you deserve the Mercedes. Spirit is trying to bring you the Mercedes, or else they wouldn't have even put it in your mind to have, right? You are definitely supposed to have it. It's 100% in your realm of possibilities. Begin to let the fear go and then just embody, right? Feel what it feels like to have that. My godmother taught me when I was 19 years old this technique. She told me to be grateful for everything that I already have. And then she said, visualize what it would feel like, right? I'm going to use the Mercedes again to drive the Mercedes, to feel what the steering wheel feels like. Notice how it feels to pull up in your garage or wherever you are. She taught me this at 19 years old. Using that technique, salon, boyfriends, money, right? And when things were shitty, make shitty in my life, I'd go back to her. She'd say, visualize. Okay, I got to visualize, right? This is my son. So difficult. Like parenting is a motherfucker. Okay. For any of you who are doing it or not doing it, it is a real fucking challenge. And she would say, imagine your son walking into the room and saying, Ma, I just want to fill in the blank. Right. She had me move out of the fear of what the activities that my son was doing and move his energy so that he was able to see clearly in little of no time. He came in and said, Ma, I wanna. And I was like, oh shit. Because I didn't think it would work with parenting. I didn't think it worked with people, right? I thought that it only worked with material things. I thought I could only co-create for the things that were directly related to me. But I was taught how co-creating, right, begins to move other people's energy for the greatest good, as long as you come from a space of love. Now, I will have to say that there was a lot of love energy involved, a lot of me sitting with that love in my heart for him in order for those shifts to happen and change. But I was co-creating, right? Me and his dad became closer. All of us as a unit became closer because of this love that I chose to generate versus the fear, right? Versus the fear. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. I will be here on Sundays. I am enjoying my Sunday sound baths. Um, my Calling in Clarity community, we meet once a month on Sundays at 7 p.m. And then we meet individually so that we can really dive into what is going on with each of them personally, so that Spirit can speak to them personally, so that we can make sure that they are aligned with their destiny in a way that is the best and most optimal. It comes with a bunch of homework. It comes with a bunch of therapy. Oh, thank you, Whitney. Thank you. Thank you. So I love that community so much. And we are about 6 to 7 months in. I'm not calling in new participants until September, October. But the turn that so many of my clients have already made has just been amazing. And lastly, I'm doing a Mastery of Love sound bath series that is totally free. Donations, if you would like to offer them. I just would love to see you in the space. It's going to follow it has been following the Mastery of Love book by Don Miguel Ruiz, who wrote The Four Agreements, which I totally love and live by and try to read every year, if not every other year. And it speaks to us about getting really, really personal, really divine with ourselves in love, so that we are able to reflect that in our relationships. So I really have been loving that as well. And the next date is August 19th. You can find it in my link that goes to my website, that goes to everything that I'm doing. So thank you. If you have any questions, you can always DM me. And this will be on YouTube. So if you want to go over it again or send it to somebody, feel free. Night, y'all.